when you take it to the next level, we're starting to talk about AI assistants and AI co-pilots. Can you briefly explain what those are and what their impact is going to be for the future of content, search, and the internet?
The broad scope is that we're really familiar with using software, and software we've been using for a long time to accomplish tasks. And software is really based on rules, and sometimes those rules are hard to manipulate. So if you have a piece of software that you want to do a tool, well, it's going to do what it says it can do and what it's designed to do within its rules, its boundaries. Um, AI is going to produce a slightly different type of tool for users, and so these AI co-pilots are really going to be able to look at think of it as a changing rule set. So I can say, hey, software, I want you to do this within my rule set. And let's custom define that rule set. So I think as kind of a broad explanation of copilots is that they'll be able to adapt to your likes, your interests, your rules, your goals, and then help you accomplish those tasks based on that rule set. It might be a little bit too broad. We can dive in.
Yeah, let's
Um,
dive in. Let's dive in.
something to think about, and kind of maybe the theme of this conversation is that these co-pilots are going to be one of the biggest power of them is autonomy. And so these co-pilots are going to be doing things, not necessarily every time we ask them, but way more than that. And so similar to how we have a lot of bot traffic in the internet right now, there are many bots that are going to websites and doing things. And sometimes people who know how to program these bots can write a bot to do a specific thing on a specific site. These AIs are going to be like that on steroids. And these AIs are going to be able to browse the internet. They're going to become a large portion of the browsing internet. And as such, I think one of the topics we want to discuss is this basically produces a new internet user, if you will, a new customer. If you're a business, you're going to have a new base of browsers that are viewing your website and your products and services that acts vastly different because it's a bot, it's an AI. And so the overlap of that kind of population of AI browsers and human browsers is what's really going to make things exciting, but also demand some change in business models and how we design products and services, if indeed we have a new internet user who's browsing our services and products.
And by the new internet user, uh you mean like a co-pilot, like an AI
These co-pilots,
co-pilot.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're going to be working kind of on behalf of us. These co-pilots are going to get built in at kind of different levels. You'll have them in your operating system. You'll have them in your Windows computer, your Mac, and they will look at everything that's on your screen and be able to assist with many things. So yeah, eventually we're going to task them with doing many things, like a lot of our mundane tasks that we do with work. Obviously, we use AI to automate and to speed things up. So yeah, that's the internet user I'm referring to, is the autonomy that's going to come generally directed by a user. But yeah, these bots are going to become fairly prevalent.
Hmm. What do you think from like a ground level is going to be the most like maybe the first signs of all of this, or are we already seeing it like co-pilots and assistants?
Yeah, I think we're seeing a bit of it. It's funny, early on in the onset of as soon as ChatGPT really became a thing and everyone was kind of blown away and kind of questioning what can be done with it, there were a lot of developers, software developers, who created these co-pilots, very early iterations of them. And so that kind of iterative process of co-pilots, this agentic AGI or agentic AI, as we would think about it, these agents are they're kind of the main focus. I know with the operating systems right now, like with Microsoft and Apple, they really want to create an assistant for you to kind of use your computer with you, use the websites with you, shop Amazon with you.
Hmm.
Um, and so I'd say that we're getting to bigger levels of these copilots, since previously they were not part of Windows or Mac. They were some kind of rough around the edges apps that have been released over the last year, and they're amazing. But they're getting refined, and they're about to get a whole lot better.
Okay, nice. And are just like data are us normal like normal like users going to be using these eventually, do you think, or is it
Yeah,
mostly businesses?
absolutely. That's a good question. I think the home user, if you will, is going to have their introduction to this. I mean, ChatGPT was kind of like getting your toes in the water, but pretty soon, like I said, we're going to kind of have that Copilot running alongside us with everything we do on our computer.
Mhm.
Um, and so that's going to kind of normalize the usage. And people, as the AIs become more skilled and more able, of course, will rely on the copilots more and more. So we'll find tasks that they can do, which save us time and money. Um, and that task list will just continue to grow.
So are they so with all of this, with shopping, with everything, with these assistants, are we still is that mostly for like data gathering? I mean, that's been one of the like the unseen forces in driving the internet forward, data on top of data, for better or worse, and how it's distributed. How does all of that evolve with the introduction of AI?
Yeah, interesting. One of the things that these copilots do is they give us as the user the ability to scrape the internet kind of at a level that we hadn't previously done. If you were a programmer and you knew how to write some bots, you could write a bot to scrape the internet. But that's a slim portion of the global population that was able to do that. And so now we're kind of leveling the playing field and we're giving this kind of pretty valuable tool to users to be able to gather data. And there's a lot of data out there. In fact, this kind of follows into uh, something else we'll touch on. But AIs are really able to kind of free of charge find answers and services because the internet's really large. And if you scrape the internet enough, you can usually find what you want without paying for it. And so that's an interesting dynamic that will challenge the internet going forward.
Huh. And with AI doing the scraping, it'll be easier to obtain that knowledge for free. Uh,
Absolutely. Yes.